I wanted to take a quick video of this honeysuckle while it's in full bloom because I'm sure they won't last forever. But look at it, it's full. Now this is a proven winners. I think it's called Sensation with an S. Honeysuckle, and it stays relatively small, but it's a climber obviously, and when it blooms it has a wonderful sweet smell. These blooms, it's actually a nice sweet, it's not like flowery, it's just kind of sweet like honey. Maybe that's what it's called, honeysuckle. But anywho, I just planted this in the fall, I believe of last year, and it was a little small pots because everything I get it might have been a quart or 2 quarts. This is how much it's grown in about a year, so it's almost at the roof line of the shed. Get back. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So yeah, the flowers will go and it'll just be green, but I don't think I'm going to trim it or anything this year because it's just reaching the top, and I was hoping it would just kind of cascade back down the sides once it got to the top. We'll see what it does, but yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on that. And it rained again a lot last night. It's gotten cool. Everything's lush and green though. Look at that. It's gotten cool. It's like high 50s right now, 57 or 58 or something. But it's supposed to get up to 70. So I like this temperature. It's good for being able to get the garden in order. As you can see, I started mulching between my rows. I still got alliums that I need to cut. I really need to cut flowers today. I got purple alliums and white alliums to cut. These big ones, I still don't know the name of those. I want to say Schuberti or something for some reason. But they are short, although they have ginormous heads. They are only like 6 inches tall. So they're not the best for a flower arrangement, but they will do well in a dried flower arrangement. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut those and then dry them. This is my cut flower field, and you know, I grow herbs and a few vegetables back here too, but all of this stuff is supposed to be used in bouquets. My tulip field is spent. I have some more tulips coming, so I have a little row left in there where I can plant those. And then the garlic is coming along pretty soon. It's turning brown at the tops, so hopefully pretty soon. I probably should fertilize it. That might help. And my herbs are finally taking off. I got some squash back there. The herbs are finally taking off. This is French tarragon, which is very hard to get your hands on here in Michigan, but it is a perennial. So luckily, I'm able to get it to come back, and I try to propagate some of it every season just in case. I have a couple of extras. Sage, that comes back reliably, and then I think that's oregano back there. And I'm sure I have some marjoram and thyme somewhere around here as well. But yeah, I'm just mulching now, still planting out little starts, because some things I like to plant in succession so that I have you know, flowers throughout the summer. And yeah, still gotta work now on my berries because they've started to grow, so I gotta tie those up and get rid of some canes. Usually I cut out most of them and just leave kind of like about 6 canes on each one. I need to weed under there too because I don't want it to turn into a wild mess, and I like to be able to tie them to this trellis here I made. This one is fruiting, or flowering, as you can see, and fruiting. Because let's see, I see some baby berries there. See that? So that will turn into a wonderful blackberry. And then I put squash in these pots. So I have a series of them, and they have summer squash in them. The winter squash is over in the ground. This is turning into a mini tour. It wasn't supposed to. This row is still empty, so I gotta get something out here, just because if you don't fill the space, weeds will fill the space for you. So I just put something. I'm gonna put either some annuals or some more sunflowers. I need to sow another succession of sunflowers. This is a whole lot of white sweet William. I've been cutting it. It's a lot. The columbines are almost done. Nigella is coming up. It's beautiful. I have different colors. There's like the traditional blue and purples. You can't tell it on the camera. Purple always looks blue, but this one's blue, and this one is actually a dark purple. But I got pink, and then I have the whites. So that's a beautiful kind of a filler flower, I guess you'd call it. The blue pearl, some of it is getting ready to flower, and this I use for filler, and I have a ton of it. I don't know if you can see, it's everywhere. But this is all reseeded. I scattered the seeds from last year because it is my favorite cut flower filler. It grows well for me. So I'm going to keep growing that. And delphiniums, I have made a decision about delphiniums. One, the decision is that I will not be using them for cut flowers anymore. They are beautiful, spiky. You need a spike in a flower bouquet. But those, it drops the petals so fast. And I'm picking them at the right time. You know, you pick them when about half to 2/3 of the blooms are open on the stalk. But even so, I'm not getting that many days out of them, maybe 3 or 4 days. The petals drop and the pollen drop everywhere, like every single petal. And it's a constant mess trying to clean it up. So, yeah, I will just be leaving these for display, which is fine. And for pollinators, I'll probably have to actually get rid of some of these because I think the thing is multiplying. It's getting bigger and bigger, and it's over in the row, in the walkway now. So when that's all done flowering, I'm going to cut that all back, you know, and tidy that up. This Late's mantle is flowering. And this is really pretty. I'm not going to cut it this year because it's short. I just transplanted this back here from the front in the fall. And I had just gotten it like in the spring. But there may be a few that are a little bit taller. But I want to see if it gets any taller. So I'm not going to cut a lot on that. But my plan was to use that for filler too. And then these are grasses that I can use as spikes and bouquets once they get fully grown. There's some bunny tails in there. They form these little cotton balls on the end, and some other type of grass. But look at those poppies. They are so pretty. I don't even bother to cut poppies because they don't last but 2 or 3 days, most likely. But I'm hoping I can get some interesting heads on some of them if the bread seed ones actually came up. Not sure. There's a stand of poppies here that hasn't bloomed yet, so maybe that's them. But otherwise, I just leave them there because they're pretty. Yeah, they're very pretty. Those red ones are beautiful. I didn't think I'd like the reds. Those are really pretty. So otherwise, verbascum is another one I will not use for cut flowers. It's just like the delphinium. It drops those little petals very quickly. Even they last even shorter than the, than the delphiniums. We're talking 2 days out of those. So it's not worth it. But they are pretty. Like I said, I do like the spike, and I planted quite a few snapdragons, but they didn't do anything. They're growing as slow as molasses, and I put those out when it was still cool because that's a cool season flower. But as you can see, like these are snapdragons, but they're just still short. I mean, they just aren't excited about growing. More of the nigella over here. I got all that stuff. I think I sowed it twice because I didn't think it was going to come up, and then it did. So there are some different flowers here. I couldn't tell you. That looks like more verbascum or something. I couldn't tell you, but in the midst of this are all of my hellebores, this, and then the other row behind me, half of that. So those are perennials that will come back every year. And more of this Orlea that I'm going to end up pulling at least one of these bunches out, because like I told you, this reseeds crazily, and it looks pretty in a vase for sure, but it drops all those little petals too. I do like the seed heads after. They are very interesting. They probably would make a good dried flower, just the seed heads in a bouquet. Actually, I probably should be trying to cut some of these and test it out. But it spreads too crazily, and I cannot have that. As you can see, I've dwindled my yarrow down to just this, period. And then there's one here that I'm waiting till they bloom to see what color they are. But if it's these, there's two actually. If these are the same color as those, then they will go, because that stuff spreads everywhere and it's absolutely crazy. There's another yarrow there. But that is what's going on in the back. Doing my morning walkthrough before work. It's 7 something. Oh, what is happening here? It's all full and lush over here. Pick a few strawberries today, because if I don't get to them, the slugs will get to them before I do. More oregano. I plant herbs throughout, like everywhere. More herbs than I need, but I plant them because they do deter critters. They don't like the smell of herbs, strong smelling herbs. So I kind of like to have them around plants. It's a little bit of a barrier. But yeah, I got to come get some of these strawberries. Hopefully the slugs did not get to them. I really should have straw under there, but every time I buy straw, it grows, it has seeds in it, and then it starts growing grass, and I don't really want to be having to weed the straw or do enough weeding. So I don't know. I have some little things they made for strawberries to put up under them to hold them up off the ground. So I may dig those out. But my method before has typically been to come out every day and harvest what I can and just get to them literally before the slugs get to them. Yeah, that's been my plan so far, and it's worked out okay. But I don't know, I had a lot to do this season with making that whole new area in the front. So yeah, that is what's happening in the back. I still do need to weed again, and then I have a tray here of starts. These are all going in the front in that new section I planted. Most of these are annuals. I just need to fill in the space until the perennials get bigger. This is a stand of feverfew, which makes a really good cut flower filler. It has a little white flower that comes all over it, and it's kind of semi-hardy. I really think I had at least one batch of it come back from last year or something, because I don't recall planting any, and I have some over on the other side. This is saponaria. I've never grown this, but it's a cut flower filler, and it has these pink little blooms. It's actually quite pretty. I like it. I'm probably going to grow that again, because it's convenient to grow it in this tub. I just had this wire laying around, and I put that over it to kind of hold it up, you know, like a netting kind of deal. So I'm probably going to grow that again. My Bells of Ireland did not do that well, and I'm upset about that, because I love Bells of Ireland. It's one of my favorite cut flowers. This is all that came out. Oh my gosh. And they're short. Last year they were so tall. These are short. Oh. I'm going to cut them though, because it's an annual, so it's not like it's going to come back bigger next year. But I'm going to oversee next year to make sure I have enough of those, because yeah, that's one of my favorites. It smells really good too. Kind of smells like apples and mint kind of mixed together. But anyway, this has gone on long enough. Bye bye.